Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to discuss the reason why I ended my engagement. Okay, so let's just get straight into it, honey. Scrolling on Instagram and I end up coming up on this page, the Taylor Chandler. And she was saying some real stuff about some of the most similar things I was kind of telling myself and about learning how to take my power back and lack of boundaries and power and controlling your mind and your own beliefs. You know, sometimes you say, people like, be careful what you say because you attract what you say, but you also attract what you think. And I feel like my journey of really self-love and figuring out who I am started about early last year, like 2022, January. And throughout that time, I realized we have been together for about 12 years. So I feel like I realized in that journey, talking to Taylor and going to therapy, that how I initially showed up in the relationship was not true to myself, and realizing I had all these, you know, abandonment issues and people pleasing. And it's so easy to look at someone else and tell them what they're doing, what they're not doing, what they could be doing better. But it's it really it takes strength to really look at yourself and look in the mirror, like truly look at the mirror and ask yourself some real questions about why I was triggered by certain things. First, I had to understand that I had triggers and what those triggers really come from, and the root of those triggers really came from past experiences. And I realized that the past experiences that I had were affecting how I showed up in the present. My beliefs about the past experience that I have had, regardless, it was, me not really ever having a good relationship with my dad. I mean, he was there for money, but emotional support, no. Um, my lifestyle growing up as a child, how I feel like I had to show up or do certain things, because as a child, you don't really understand a lot. So I really had to face that, which was very scary. And realizing that I was coming out of a lot of things. I was coming out of that people pleasing, or I was coming out of that abandonment, and really realizing or acting in a different way. And sometimes when you're with someone that's so used to you acting a different way, when you change, sometimes that can be triggering for them. Or you can just trigger someone just by being who you are. But I also realized that my lack of boundaries was where my triggers were present, which means that where I lack my boundaries, where I'm unable to say no, when I'm able to let someone know how I want to be treated. And that's okay to have that power and not just allow someone to treat you however they want to treat you. And you get mad and angry and upset and aggressive and resentful. Like, why have all these feelings when you can just stop yourself from even feeling that way by taking out or taking your power back and taking yourself out of the equation and realizing your power. And that's what I did. I realized I did not have any boundaries in place, and wonder why I was so triggered. Or I kept asking God, why is this happening to me? Like I said, don't put me in that, because I still had a choice. And I realized I never knew that. A lot of things I didn't know, and I thought I could control everything around me just because of my past and my past traumas. I wanted to be controlled. I wanted to know what was going on. I realized how I was showing up in the relationship, how I would express my feelings. I would just sometimes regurgitate my feelings and expect apologies, validation, accountability. And it's like, Amber, slow down. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't mean that my points were valid, or, what was done, absolutely. But it's also about my place and my choice and what I allowed, and once I kind of realized that Amber, you're not perfect. And I know y'all probably like, what? Duh. But no, seriously, like I thought I was perfect and I thought I did nothing wrong, and it's everybody around me, instead of me seeing like who I allowed in my life and my beliefs, and me applying one to all. Because after speaking with my therapist and realized I had all these issues within myself, I would go into flight or fight mode, which most of me, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna get aggressive. I'm gonna let what you did wrong or how I'm feeling because you did it and you this and you. And it was like, no, Amber, you. You. You chose to put yourself in this situation. And it's like, no, you don't know what no one's gonna do, but most likely everyone has a pattern, even me. And learning someone else's patterns, I'm trying to move a certain way or squeeze myself into a box so I don't say anything that make him mad, or I do things that's extra perfect, or this person be perfect. And it's Amber, you can only control you, and you only have power over you. So me realizing my power and realizing what that really looks like, I was able to change. And I'm not saying it happened overnight, because like I said, I've been on this journey for about a year. But getting that boundary playbook and realizing I didn't have any boundaries is the reason why I felt so lost and used. And, you know, I always give this and no one ever gives anything back. Or every time I have a conversation, it's always me. Like, okay, now you're realizing those things. Now what are you going to do about it? You know, and I realized, you know, the places where I showed up incorrectly and how I tried to fix that, or, you know, have conversations when I learned how to be secure. And I'm still learning that, but as I talked to my therapist Taylor, and she helped me like learn how to really ask questions to get answers, to really have a conversation, of problem solve, I realized that I was kind of the only one trying to do it. Like, I was the only one going to therapy, and me trying to make somebody else do something, it just wasn't working. I had to really dig deep and sit with myself and realize who I was and who I was becoming and who I wanted to be. And knowing and thinking about, really reflecting about what I want my experience to be, what I want my experience to be, and the actual experience I'm having. And how I realize in my power, I can have exactly what I want, but I may have to lose a few things. So within those boundaries, you know, triggers to boundaries to consequences, knowing that my lack of boundaries is the reason why I have these triggers. And then realizing that I can set these boundaries in place, that also comes with consequences. Consequences if you tell someone, no, I don't really like how you do that, or realizing once you do have boundaries, people don't like you as much, or they don't want to talk to you, or they get angry, and that would scare me. And I had to realize it was the fear. It wasn't really the boundaries I had problems with, it was the consequences from those boundaries. Like, yeah, you might hate me, you may not like me, you know what I'm saying, or things would say like, it's fuck you and the kids, or you know what I'm saying, you dead to me. It was kind of like that would scare me so much. I would be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do this because I don't want to be mean to the kids. But it's like, when you was here, you was always, you know what I'm saying, in your just acting out in frustration. And I'm trying to, you know, be at peace and learn my anger and learn my triggers. And I'm trying to help him, you know, learn like, oh, I know this, you know, you do these things when you're frustrated, or, you know, why don't you write this down, and buy him a journal. Like, that was an invasion of his boundaries, because he never told me to do that. He never told you he wants to listen to a podcast about feelings and triggers and boundaries and grace. He never said that. But that's what I wanted for him. Like, I wanted it so bad for the both of us. But you can't pull somebody with you. Like everybody's just not meant to go. And I realized, because I had these kids, like Chloe's almost 10 years old. And it's gonna be almost a decade she's been with me. And she's really been in this relationship with me. And I had to see from her point of view what she sees love as. And that's not true. It's not healthy love. It's not secure love. You know, I want her to be emotionally stable and secure and not have these doubts about herself. That's why sometimes I ask her questions like, you know, do you feel like your feelings matter? And she was like, well, sometimes, you know, I don't want to get too emotional. I was like, you can always cry to me, scream, whatever, because your emotions aren't triggering for me. I had to learn how to be a different mother, be a different woman. And me being a different woman and learning who I was shows up in every way. How I'm a lover, how I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, how I treat myself, my work ethic, and it all comes down to one. That's why this journey of self-love that I've been on started a year ago. And I'm just now, 2 weeks ago, literally when I ended it is like I'm just now getting the strength and the understanding to take that step. And yes, it's scary. It's it's different, but it's like I've been doing the same thing for the past 12 years. Honey, it's time. And that's something I had to tell myself, it's time. And I can't continue to I can't continue to live a lie. And once I know, you can't not know. Like once I've realized all these things and the power that I have and how the enemy was the doubt and me not thinking I'm good enough or I'm worthy enough or I'm lovable, and really addressed how I felt about my father, or so it was so much work for me. And I realized I really was my own worst enemy. Because of who, it's just like, Amber, if you love yourself and if you're so strong, in a why are you in a place, or why are you in an experience or in a relationship that does not value how you feel about yourself? Because if you were worthy enough and you knew you deserved better, why aren't you? And that's some real questions, like why are and it's kind of like I try to, Amber, be you and then see what changes in the environment. But once I realized I'm changing and what I realized in who I am, it was like, okay, now it's time for my environment to change. And I could no longer put myself or my children in a place where they are scared, in fear, around chaos, and they need peace, and so do I. And I had to realize that I had a lot of control over that. I had control over my life. My life was not just happening to me. God gave me free will, and realizing all those doubts about who I was, if I was really lovable, that's just the enemy, because God is not confusion or fear. And I realized I'm not living in fear anymore. I am choosing myself, and I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care. Like, I don't care. And that's so freeing. Like, that is, y'all don't even, like, that's so freeing. Not giving a damn. Like, I really don't give a hot diggity damn. I only, like, just about me and my kids and me being happy and me pushing to be the best woman I can be with no other distractions. Like, I'm choosing me, and I really know what that feels like and how that is, and not caring about if you don't like me, not caring about what you think of me, not you thinking, oh, I was dumb. I'm not being ashamed or letting guilt or embarrassment of me changing or deciding to make a choice that's best for me. I will never apologize for that. Like, yeah, it's different, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving who I am, and I'm trusting who I am. And that was something I had to work on too. Trusting myself, trusting my decisions, and I'm so unapologetic, but I'm also empathetic, and I'm learning emotional maturity and how to show up for myself and my children, and being patient and realizing I have to be what I want. And that's why I pray for God to align my mind and heart, because I can't say that I want a healthy life, a loving relationship, and I'm still vengeful toward my ex. That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter. Just for anybody watching this, it doesn't matter how long you didn't know. It doesn't matter how long you had it wrong. It doesn't matter that you fucked up yesterday. It don't matter. Every day you get a new chance. Every day you get a new chance. Like, you never know. That's what Taylor said. What if you win the life lottery tomorrow? If you got everything you ever want, I'm not talking about just money. If you got everything you ever wanted in life, if you won the life lottery tomorrow, you'll look at yesterday like it was all worth it. Like, I turned that mess into a message. Like, oh, that breakup was a breakthrough. Like, you're going to feel like it was all for a reason. And if you truly believe that, you will prosper in life. And that's what I believe. Like, yeah, today I did pretty good, but I can do better tomorrow. Like, yeah, today I kind of I fucked up, but you can do better tomorrow. And even when you do have those negative thoughts, talk to yourself, correct it as soon as you do. Because I had to realize that. And I had to explore some feelings, because you also have to realize your body. And just because, like, let's say you miss something, like when you break up, yeah, I'm gonna miss this person, and your body doesn't want to feel that. Your body doesn't want to feel that pain of missing someone or that sorrow, so it's going to give you the urge to call this person. But that's when you know you have control over your body. Your body is just like a reaction, like a computer. It tells you, like, when you're scared, when you're afraid, what you need to do, but that don't mean you always have to listen to it. My brain does not control me. I control it. So when it pops up of these thoughts about the past, oh, I can't believe he did this. Oh, I can't believe you got, well, yeah, I did that because I didn't know. I really didn't know who I was or what I deserved, but thank God for growth. Thank God there's a new day. Now these next 10 years though, now since I know, now I'm learning how to be secure and solid and loving myself and realizing who God is, and God is love and he's not confusion. And every time something try to comes in my head, I know what it is. It's not like I have to entertain it because I know it's not God. And if I do have a chance or want to entertain it, I will sit with it and meditate on it and go deeper and realize where that is coming from. Is this fear? Is this doubt? Is this a belief that I have? And I've never really been a pessimist type of person anyway. Like I've always been like positive, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my loving spirit and I'm always smiling and cheesing. I'm always nice and giddy in my childlike attitude. You know, I love that part of me because that's God. And that's something I would no longer apologize about, because I used to be so, oh, I wish I wasn't so forgiving. Oh, I wish I wasn't so understanding, you know, but I'm very empathetic and understanding and loving. And that's okay. I know now that my love and understanding is not unconditional. And knowing that if I try to love and understand no matter what, that hurts me. Knowing that that's not being true to me. And I know now. That's what I'm saying. I know now. It doesn't even matter. Like, I know now, and I'm choosing me now. And I'm no longer afraid. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful every day. I'm like, God, I'm grateful for the pain. I'm grateful for what I'm going through. And it's all about like constantly talking to yourself in positive, constantly talking to God. Like, be careful what you listen to. Because I was listening to a song by, I think, like Alicia Clare, and she was like, if I had to choose my heart or you, I'm going to lose. And I was like, oh, hell no. I can't listen to that. What type of shit is that? Like, really? That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful what you let like in your eye gates or you listening to, because I'm like, I had to delete all them songs off my phone that was that sad in love, like that shit. I had to delete that shit. Like I'm a straight gangster now, or really it's more about like peace type of songs. I have to be careful about what I follow on my Instagram, because I'm not gonna be following nothing when it's toxic. Like, this girl talked about how she only want a man to only pay her bills, and you know what I'm saying, just dumb shit. You know what I'm saying, that does not align with what I want. I'm not even gonna entertain that. That's what I'm saying. It really is an all day process or like work to like love yourself or really not get distracted by talking to God, praying, meditation, journaling. Like that's why I have this, and it's called Spells, and this mindfulness journal, and this chakra activity book, because it really is, you guys, a journey. And is it scary? It's different, and I like different. And I'm not saying that it's all okay, or I'm not like that's, I don't know, I feel like that sadness or that bitter or that anger, I don't have that, because I know who I am and I know what those feelings are rooted from, and I'm pulling up that root. I snatched that root out of like unknowing or unsure or like I don't know, like what? Amber, you know, God knows. Even if I don't know, God knows. And trusting that, like, that I ain't gotta do it all. What? Like, I ain't gotta do it all. Like, I really ain't gotta do it all. That's God's job. And it's not for me to wonder how it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen. God said, just know it's gonna happen. Just trust me and be in it every single day, and I'm gonna show you. And that's what I've been doing. And He has been showing up for me. And I know He can do the same for you. And I hope this video helps you. It definitely helped me to really learn who I am. That's why I'm just grateful. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. See you guys.